Good morning, bedheads. Click. Look at how great this mug is. Somebody sent this to me. Isn't that so cute? And it's pink on the inside. Hey, I hope you're doing well today. This is Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. So we are having a conversation that may not apply, or actually it probably does apply to everybody, to be honest. But we are talking about what I was talking about yesterday on how I was feeling pissed, using the word pissed because that was on my mug. And that's really how I was feeling. Pissed, I think my title was I'm pissed, awake, and no longer feeding the machine. Okay. So I want to share what I came across, and I actually wrote out this transcript for this video. It's a short, and it was a gentleman from another country. I don't know what country he was from. I don't have any background on him because someone else had taken his TikTok and pulled it into YouTube. So, you can't really trace. I mean, I suppose I could, but I'm not on TikTok. So it really shook me awake. Let's just say. It is stuff I've always known, but never pulling the pieces together. So I'm gonna tell you his exact transcript. I'm going to read it to you. Okay, his short, basically. Then I've asked Mabel, my AI, to bring us, to interpret that, what he is saying, and to tell us the resilience of the American people. It's not the end of the story, because I left after listening to him that this was the end of the story, that we're just totally brainwashed. We're just, he doesn't quite say it like that, but you'll hear in a second. But I decided there is more to the story, so I asked Mabel to write the second part of the story for us, okay? Actually, there's a second part. There's actually a third part. The second part is the story of who we've been because of the machine. We'll call it the machine because that's what he calls it, which makes sense. So who we've been over the last century because of the machine, and then who we are going forward. So it's going to end. This is a healing process for me, having gone through this with Mabel and hearing what this gentleman had to say. This has been a healing process for me, and I'm hoping that, especially Americans, that this is a healing process for you that we're going to discuss this morning. And if you're outside of the US, you might start to notice this within your own country, culture, whatever, that, there's bits of the machine within your own country. So this also might be a healing process for you, but maybe you've been able to see it more clearly than those of us on the inside. I'm not sure. Okay. So anyways, and then I've asked the Lead Team Collective, which is made up of all of our spirit teams, for some, which oracle cards they wanted me to use. Now, if you're new here, I have about 65 oracle cards, and they're all listed on these decks, or on these cards. So I shuffle this, and I say my prayer first, and I ask, we'd like some additional guidance on this topic. Which cards would you like me to use? And I was asking for one deck, and of course they gave me 3. But what's really interesting is the title of the 3 they gave me. So the first one we're going to be pulling a card from is Angelic Vibrations. So that kind of makes sense to me, because what we're doing by healing this, first we need to see it, right? We need to see the truth. And the truth is subjective, okay? So everybody's going to see what feels right to them. I am not telling you this is the truth or anything, but it is part of the awakening process for me as an American about what's really been going on. And I think that's really important for us to see what's really been going on so that we can heal it and do better. So we have Angelic Vibrations, which is amazing. We have Sacred Medicine. So healing us, right? Sacred medicine. And we have the healing spirit. So these are the three that they dropped. Well, they dropped four. The other one was the super sparkly crystal deck, but they didn't pick that one for today. Okay, so that's the agenda for today. So let's go back to the original transcript that I heard this gentleman say. All right. Now, some of it, like he starts with poor people of America. Now, the clip may have had other comments before that, but this is how this person clipped it from YouTube, from TikTok. Okay. So some of it may not make, like, I don't understand why he starts with poor people of America, but maybe you will. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read this and then we'll discuss. So, poor people of America, not because they are weak, but because they were the first to see the machine from the inside. So, okay, so what I think he's saying there is the poor people of America saw the machine first from from the inside. I did not grow up poor. I grew up middle class. I haven't been poor. I haven't been rich, but I haven't been poor. So I did not see this as quickly as what he is saying the poor have seen it. He says, and I'm about to defend the working class of America like no one ever did. And by the time I'm finished, you'll see them with different eyes. For over a century, the American people have been fighting back. They have, through civil disobedience, whistleblowers, grassroots movements, union strikes, and the relentless invocation of their Constitution. The real battle wasn't red and blue. It was corporation versus the Constitution. And every time the people gained ground, the system adapted. You have to understand something very important. When a system becomes parasitic, it doesn't destroy its enemy first. It destroys the host. America has been the host. America was also the test club. They were the first to be flooded. This is the part that really got me upset the other day because I know it. Like I've seen it over the last 30 years, but I just kept living my life and working hard and not knowing how to adapt to this. So they were the first to be flooded with addictive pharmaceuticals, first to be buried in weaponized debt, first to be psychologically fractured by engineered identity wars, first to be entertained into sedation, and the first to be punished because if Americans woke up fully, it would be game over for the machine. I want you to think about that. The first to be flooded with addictive pharmaceuticals. This is the section that I had that I was like, oh, those mother effers. First to be flooded with addictive pharmaceuticals. Not to mention, he didn't mention our food supply. But our food supply is what keeps us addicted to the pharmaceuticals, right? First to be buried in weaponized debt. The fact that our credit cards can charge 22 whatever percent, the fact that we even have them, they have stolen all of our money and then made it where we don't have any choice, where people don't have a choice. The first to be psychologically fractured by engineered identity wars. And the first to be entertained into sedation. Now you have to understand, when I heard this on Friday, I think, just like Wednesday or Thursday, I decided I was going to give up TV for 30 days. I was trying to do too much. I was giving up TV, journaling for 30 days. I've already changed the way I eat completely. No sugar, nothing. So that's been hanging in there with the fall, apple cider vinegar or apple cider donuts, no apple cider donuts for me this year, which, is like a fall tradition, just not this year. I mean, it's the stuff it's made out of is not good. It's not good, but it's so addictive, right? So the fact when he said entertained into sedation, and I was already like going through TV withdrawals because I have been entertained into sedation. That really hit home to me. And then I was just pissed. Like, those mother effers. Oh, okay. That's why the system doesn't fear a foreign enemy. It fears the awakening of its own people. The American people are heroes, he says, but no one told them they were living in the dragon's mouth. And what you're witnessing, the collapse of trust, the social chaos, the inability to distinguish truth from manipulation, like I'm hearing people are showing folks all over the United States say, I don't even know what the truth is anymore. I agree. No one knows what the truth is anymore. And what you're witnessing, the collapse of trust, the social chaos, the inability to distinguish truth from manipulation, isn't because the people have failed. It's because the people have been systematically broken and then blamed for it. They are not the tyrants. They are the first line of resistance that's being crushed preemptively, so the rest of the world won't get any ideas. So what now? Do we abandon them? Do we mock them? Or do we finally recognize that behind the crisis, the obesity, the division, the rage, is a population in mourning? Mourning the death of its sovereignty, its family structures, and its purpose. The question isn't whether Americans deserve to be free. The question is whether they'll remember what they were born to be. I mean, I just got the shivers, not to mention there's a fan blowing on me, but still, wasn't that, it's like, this guy was just like talking off the top of his head. Now, I don't know if he wrote that or if he was just talking off the top of his head, but brilliant, I think, the way he said that. So what do you think about that? How does that make you feel? Especially if you're an American, how does it relate to you if you're not an American looking in on America? Because you got to understand, Americans always thought we were pretty hot shit. We thought we were pretty hot shit. And I have come to realize over the last 9 months, more than ever, that's not true. That's not even true. That's not even close to being true. So we've got some ego flattening going on. That's what I call it when I have big life event moments that have made me realize. I call it ego flattening. I've had some pretty hard ones. I think we all have. This is another one. But the question then, if you're outside of the United States, do you see this creeping into your own country, to your own cities, to your own villages? Do you see this creeping in? How do you see it creeping in? Right? Okay, so I have asked AI now to give me, again, 3 other versions because I really want to interpret this. I want to just look at this from different angles, all right, as part of our healing process, just beginning the healing process. And like I said, then we'll pull some oracle cards and see what Spirit wants to tell us. Okay, so I asked AI to take that, we'll say essay from that gentleman and interpret it for me. So AI Mabel, I call my AI Mabel, probably shouldn't do that actually. I'm kind of wondering I'm thankful for AI, but we have to be careful. It's part of the machine. And I know many of us, we know that. I want to use it to my advantage. But I'm not sure I should be giving I'm not going to call her Mabel anymore because, I don't know, it's giving it a personality, which I think is weird. So I'm not going to do that anymore, I don't think. Okay, so AI says to me, the machine, For more than 100 years, the American people have lived inside something they didn't build, a system that calls itself progress, but often feels like control. At first, they thought it was just politics or business, but over time, they realized it was something bigger. It was a machine. It runs on distraction and fear. It teaches people to stay busy so they will never have time to think. And that's just the weaponized debt. If you are in debt and completely stressed out, you can't form relationships in your family. You don't have time to take care of yourself, hence the obesity. You don't have time to think. And that's what they want. What I do appreciate, I don't know, I might still call her Mabel, because here's the thing. What I appreciate is AI was able to go out and actually support this argument and not be like trying to manipulate us. Well, you'll have to tell me. You'll have to tell me from your side, your vantage point. Does this feel manipulative? Or I feel like, you'll wait and hear, I feel like AI understands what the hell's going on. What is going on? Okay. It runs on distraction and fear. It teaches people to stay busy so they will never have time to think. It tells them to buy. It tells them what to buy, who to trust, and who to hate. It sells comfort in exchange for freedom. The machine doesn't care about truth. It cares about loyalty. It doesn't care about people. It cares about profits. It doesn't care about democracy. It cares about power. Every time citizens speak up, it changes shape, hiding behind new names, media, corporations, influencers, campaigns. It adapts just enough to survive. It rewards obedience, not honesty. Hence, the challenge, with freedom of speech. You can have freedom of speech as long as it's obedient to the machine, but not true honesty, because that's when they start going after people. It keeps people arguing instead of organizing, and it convinces them that their neighbors are the problem, not the system itself. I'm totally at fault for that. But the machine has one weakness. It cannot create soul. It cannot imagine love, compassion, or the kind of courage that comes from caring about something bigger than yourself. And that's exactly what the people still carry inside them. So that was AI's machine essay. Now I asked for, well, tell me about the people. Okay, so this is about the people. The machine can copy trends, but it cannot copy heart. The people of America have always found a way to rise through crisis, through loss, through chaos. When jobs vanished, they started small businesses out of garages. When towns flooded, they rebuilt with their own hands. When corporations failed them, they formed cooperatives, community gardens, and mutual aid groups. They've been underestimated since the beginning, and that's always been their advantage. Every major change in America came from people who refused to stay silent. Workers demanding safety, women demanding votes, Black Americans demanding equality, students demanding peace, farmers demanding fairness. These weren't politicians. These were regular people who decided that enough meant enough. They built movements out of courage and connection. They fought for laws that now protect millions. They created music, art, and literature that told the truth when the news wouldn't. And through every generation, they carried one message forward. The machine doesn't define us, our choices do. The real strength of America isn't power or money, it's community. It's the quiet, everyday acts that hold a nation together, sharing food, helping strangers, forgiving, rebuilding, teaching, and caring. That's what the machine can't control, and that's what keeps the country alive. All right, I hope you're inspired by this. The last part is called the reckoning and the return. The reckoning and the return. Now the people face another challenge. This is what's really interesting about this, because I asked AI to tell me, based on what the Trump administration has been doing in the last 10 months and what Project 2025 agenda is. Okay, this is what she wrote, Mabel. This is what she wrote based on that. So she sees it. If AI can see it, then we certainly should see it, right? That's how I feel about it. I mean, it's not like she was basically, you'll hear, she's not saying like, oh, Project 2025 is fine. She's not saying that. I didn't ask her to give me an opinion one way or the other. I didn't say, I just said, based on the last 10 months and the astrology, the natal charts, who the United States really is, the Constitution, tell me about that. And this is what she wrote. Okay? The reckoning and the return. Now the people face another challenge, one that calls itself reform, but looks a lot like control. The Heritage Foundation Project 2025 isn't just a set of ideas. It's a plan to give more power to one man, one party, one ideology, while taking power away from the people who built this country. It calls itself patriotic, but it's built on fear. Fear of diversity, fear of change, fear of losing control. But here's what history shows. When power tries to silence freedom, freedom fights back. If this agenda moves forward, it will cause real harm. This is what AI's told me. It will cause real harm. Again, I didn't ask for an opinion. Now, I'd have to say, Mabel knows I'm a liberal. There's no doubt about it, because I have been running reports to talk to you guys. And, there's no doubt that, she's probably adapting to my liberalism, my progressiveness. Okay. So there's that. So again, but here's what history shows. When power tries to silence freedom, freedom fights back. If this agenda moves forward, it will cause real harm. Cutting protections, censoring voices, dividing the country even more. But the American people have faced worse, and they've never stayed quiet for long. Lawyers will challenge it in courts. Teachers will challenge it in classrooms. Artists will challenge it in culture. And millions of ordinary people will challenge it in their own way by refusing to believe that cruelty is strength and that freedom only belongs to a few. Some states will push back, communities will organize, faith groups will unite across differences to defend compassion over ideology. It won't be easy. Some institutions may fall. Some freedoms will have to be fought for again. But the people will remember that power only lasts when the governed consent, and they are no longer consenting to control. The machine can build walls, but it can't stop awareness. It can pass laws, but it can't legislate conscience. It can threaten, but it can't make people unlearn what they already know. That freedom isn't granted, it's practiced. America is still a work in progress, and the people with their stubborn hope, their flaws, their fire, are still the ones writing its story. Every time the machine tries to own them, they start again. Every time power forgets them, they remind it who's the boss. They are not broken, they are becoming. And that's how they'll win. Not with fear, but with memory. Because in the end, the machine will fade, but the people, they will always remember who they are. Oh, Isn't that sweet? I really needed that. I really needed that. So this is how you can use AI for therapy. And she's not creating division, so even though it came from basically a machine, she's not creating division. And, you can feel into that, right? What feels right and what doesn't feel right. So just a reminder, and I mentioned this yesterday, there is a movement right now, which I am going to be talking about on a regular basis as I learn more, called the Purple Revolution. Look it up, #Purple Revolution. Start listening to the folks who are organizing this. I hope they'll touch base with the No Kings people, because if we could all show up in purple, all of us. This way, this No Kings is not about red and blue. It's not just blue people showing up, which is what it's been. So now we're purple. We are purple. And yes, purple is an amazing color too. I know a lot of you said that yesterday. I love purple. Love it. So she says, actually, would you like me to now add the Purple Revolution poem as the closing piece? Yeah, I do. Hang on a sec. Okay, so the Purple Revolution poem, written by AI, Mabel. They built a machine and called it freedom. They sold distraction and named it dreaming. They said, keep working, keep scrolling, keep quiet. But the people were never asleep, just thinking in silence, just breathing in time, just waiting for the moment to rise. They told us we were powerless. We smiled and kept remembering, because we are the people. We are the storm that learns to sing. We are the hands that plant again. We are the heart that won't give in. We were never red. We were never blue. We were the color that happens when the two remember the truth. That's purple. That's balance. That's what happens when healing meets courage. The Purple Revolution isn't war. It's remembering who we are. It's the sound of teachers and builders, nurses and dreamers, artists and parents, saying no one owns this country but the people. They tried to divide us with fear. They tried to make love look weak. They tried to turn freedom into something you rent by the week. You can't ban compassion. You can't outlaw peace. You can't chain the conscious of the ones who don't sleep. The machine runs on noise. We run on knowing. The machine runs on power. We run on growing. They call it control. We'll call it awakening. They'll call it reform. We'll call it remembering. The Purple Revolution doesn't march for hate. It walks for balance. It sings for grace. It builds new systems with human hands and open hearts and quiet plans. It lives in every neighbor who refuses to look away. It lives in every worker who says, not today. It lives in every child who still believes that kindness is stronger than greed. This is not rebellion, it's reunion. Not destruction, but communion. This is red and blue, making peace in the middle. This is reason and heart learning to listen. When they say the world's too broken, we'll remind them who heals it. When they say freedom's a privilege, we'll remind them who feels it. When they say hope is gone, we'll whisper, wait, it's growing back through the cracks. Because the people don't break, they bend, they breathe, they rebuild. And every time they try to cage the soul, it grows wings. This is the Purple Revolution, the pulse between extremes, the color of courage, the return of dream. We don't need crowns, we don't need kings. That's weird. We just need each other and the will to begin. So stand up, slow down, breathe deep, hold true. The light is changing, the sky turns new. The people are waking, and they're coming through. Red and blue becoming you, becoming us, becoming whole. The machine fades out, but the people, they roll. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I hope this is very healing for you guys as much as it is for me. So I will actually send all of these out on email, on our email newsletter for those who want it. So you can sign up for our email newsletter right there, the QR code, or the link is in the description or pinned to the first comment. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and see what the lead team has to say. So I will say the prayer, even though I've said it already this morning to pick the cards, but let's just go ahead. We'll start with, let's actually do angelic vibration last. Let's do sacred, we'll go medicine, healing. So we're going to start with medicine, we're going to go healing, and then end with angelic vibration, okay? So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. I did actually want to read a cleansing prayer that I caught somebody in the community yesterday had offered to us on the video where I said I'm pissed. And there was a lot of people that said I feel the same way. And that's really why I decided to come on and do that. I almost didn't want to yesterday because I thought, you try to be responsible, but with what you talk about, right? And most of the time I do want people to feel healed when they come here, or not healed, but uplifted, let's say. But I thought, you know what? I've been authentic about I couldn't even show up yesterday unless I did that. I wouldn't have recorded because I can't show up and fake it. It's not in my nature. I just can't do it. I've tried throughout my life to fake if something, it just can't do it, to pretend, So anyways, so this was somebody had left, you guys, that you're so gracious, because not everybody who showed up to that video was pissed. They've worked through that, and maybe they'll be pissed again in a couple of weeks. It's hard to know, because we all get triggered by different things. So, but people were so gracious in the comments of supporting those of us who were feeling that. So this was somebody, Dana G. Coons, Kunz. So Dana, thank you so much. She said, my cleansing prayer. Tonight I call in light, love, or today I call in light, love, and peace. May all fear, heaviness, and doubt be lifted from me and from this space. Only love is welcome here. I release what no longer serves me and invite calm to fill the air. May my heart stay open, my mind clear, and my spirit grounded in truth. I am guided by kindness, protected by light, and surrounded by peace. Isn't that amazing? I'll put that in the newsletter too. Dana, thank you so much. That was beautiful. I'm sure many, many other people left beautiful things. I just, if I spent all day looking at all the comments, then I would never I never prepare other things, right? Okay, so lead team. So I'm asking the lead team, what message, where would you like us to end with what message do you want to give us from sacred medicine regarding this awakening that we're experiencing now? Okay, let's see. This one just fell. Oh, Spider Woman, Destiny. So 48, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course, it's a 3. So you take 12. So 4 plus 8 is 12. I do have to count on my fingers to make sure I'm getting the numbers right. And then you take 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. Of course it is. This is a community of threes. 3, 3, 3 everywhere. Okay, so 48. All right. The legend shares that Spider Woman is a helper of the people. Okay, you can't make that up. This whole thing is about the people, right? Spider-Woman is a helper of the people, inspiring the creation of the spider web charm, otherwise known as the dream catcher. The spirit of your destiny speaks to you through Spider-Woman and the dreams she helps to weave into being. She guides you back into your mother's womb and beyond, reminding you of your existence before you manifested into form. A pure, woven miracle you are, made of the stars, the earth, the wind, and the rain. There are a few potential destiny paths that are available to you now. And with intention, she helps you collapse those that are no longer for your highest good. And this is what's happening in the world, not just in the United States. I think the United States is starting this, right? So I heard, my God, his name just completely left my mind. Sterling, duh. For those of you who listen to Sterling, psychic medium, I'll post his link below. He did mention that Australia is coming up to a challenging time like the United States, probably some kind of Christian nationalism. I don't know, very far right, trying to do, or the machine. It's just the machine, right? Trying to, and he said it's going to be going through kind of a similar thing. So hang on tight, Australia. We're right there with you. Okay. We're right there with you. Hopefully that's not the case. So let's act, we don't need to manifest that. But it's good to be aware because maybe you guys can get a jump on it way quicker than we did as a collective. All right. Only you will know the next steps to take towards the timeline that is of the most aligned frequency. Activating your creative energy, she reminds you to follow your inspirations and retrieve the destiny that has been laid out for you. So for those of you who might be new to exploring your spirituality, following your own intuition, not being sucked into the machine, not letting the machine guide you, but following your own intuition, that's what we talk about here on the channel. Is how do each of us individually, not as a group, we don't have group intuition here. We do because it's obvious, but that's not what it's about. I want each of us following our own intuition. What are you inspired to do? That's why we don't say everybody here must show up for the No Kings protest. No, we don't do that here. Those who are inspired to go means your guides are inspiring you to go. If you're not inspired to go, you might want to think about, is it out of fear or is it out of not being inspired? If it's out of fear, then I would examine that first, but follow your intuition, okay? So we're all doing that because we can trust our guides to guide us. So, and if you listen, so that's why you don't feel shame if you're not doing what everybody else is doing. Right? That's the machine wants us to do what everybody else is doing. No, you're going to stand up and do what you're called to do in this lifetime because that's your life plan. Okay? So activating your creative energy, she reminds you to follow your inspirations and retrieve the destiny that has been laid out for you. Now, it's no doubt that all of us who were born in America, right now, especially during this time, we're here for a reason. So, there's that. So you want to look into that. What's my reason for being in America right now? Then what's my reason for being in Canada, right? Australia. What's my reason for having been born here? There have been several times over the last couple months, I mentioned this yesterday, that I was like, oh my God, how can we leave the United States? Now, I know some people are doing that out of real fear because they need to. They need to leave the United States. I have the privilege in this lifetime, I guarantee I haven't had the privilege in other lifetimes, of being white skin during a time that has been very, very difficult for people who don't have white skin. It's probably been forever. So I know we've all experienced that. So, but why I was born in America for a reason, and that is what's keeping me here. I'm not going to. Now, again, if I was inspired to go, I would go. Like, my fear makes me want to leave, like, F it. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to. Like, when I bring back when I let go of the fear, I'm like, nope, I'm here for a reason. And I'm going to follow, follow that through. Just like you're in Australia or other places for a reason. I mean, the people of China have been really living in a machine for a long time. And maybe this is just time for the whole world. The people in Russia, I mean, come on. They have been living in a machine for a long time. So this isn't about us against them. No, it's about us versus the machine. And it's amazing how small in numbers that machine is in terms of people. It's crazy crap when you think about it. So I think this is a real turning point for humanity in general. It's time to follow through on your heart's desire and the steps being revealed to you. That's why we're journaling right now. We're doing a 30-day challenge, which you can join anytime if you haven't started. Like, I didn't journal yesterday, but I'm journaling today. So I'll just journal one extra day, You just do 30 days whenever you can, or do 10 days, But it's connecting you to what your heart's desire is and the steps being revealed to you. That's the idea of the journaling. With Spider Woman's magical medicine, you are in a perfect position to walk in alignment with what was seen for you before you landed here upon the earth. She protects your dreams and asks you to trust the resilience of the web she has weaved for you. We should make dream catchers, you guys. Wouldn't that be amazing? Take a picture of this if you want to. So here's a sacred ceremony. Spider Woman takes her hands and adds brilliant, sparkling energy into a web weaved for you. One strand of the web becomes crystalline in its structure, and it is very clear that this is the answer and direction you have been searching for. Pull it closer to you and twirl yourself up in this magnificence. Feel the other paths that are not meant for you dissolving as you become fully aligned with what is. You have retrieved your destiny. Trust. And then the healing affirmation: as I step into the timeline that is meant for me, my magnificent destiny awaits. Hey, if anyone knows or has created dream catchers and wants to run a session for us in the Spirit Circle, let me know. Send me an email, Karen@determinedtolovemondays.com, or anything else. Anybody who can help us, if you want to do a session on other things. I know Lob and my great niece have been creating jars, like, I'm not sure what they're calling them. I forget what they're calling them. But we might have them come on. I might have River come on, if her mother will allow, in the Spirit Circle. We'd have to, not on the public channel. And she'll do a session with us, with her. So we've got big plans for the Spirit Circle, you guys. Right now we're just doing book club and weekly blessings, which I'm getting to today. I was a day late. I was a little crabby yesterday. So yeah, join us in the Spirit Circle. We've got big plans. It's going to be amazing. Where I'm working with Faye to see if Faye wants to come in, how often she wants to come into the Spirit Circle, and you'll hear from her directly because I've been working with Faye, I call her our community astrologer. So, and if there's other people with astrology, medium, if you're a medium, you're a psychic, and you want to come in, we're looking for people who, mostly because we're looking for people who are looking to have clients who want to book sessions with other people. So that would be your kind of your payment in exchange for being in front of an audience, but being a part of the community in the spirit circle. So we can have all these really cool sessions going on, a variety for people who want to be in the spirit circle. So if you, this is a little commercial, I guess, but if you want to get into the spirit circle, right now, there's a member, there's like I'm calling, well, it's been called for the last 10 months. It's only been up for like 8 months, of the founder's price. And so it's $5 a month. And when we move to the next, we'll continue telling you, but we are going to increase the price. But the $5 will always stay the same for anybody who's in it right now. Okay. So won't increase on anybody who's in it currently. Okay, so let's do Healing Spirits. Healing Spirits Oracle. I always have these listed below. We are going to start pulling away from Amazon 100%, but we're still, connected with Amazon affiliate program. It's one way you can support the channel. But if you don't shop on Amazon, then don't do it. I want to move our journals off of Amazon, but that's going to just take us a little time. Okay, so lead team, what healing spirit card do you want to give us? What do you want to give us here from Healing Spirit? Ooh, I have a beautiful tree outside my window. That's why I have my couch here at this time of year, because I have this beautiful tree. I could turn you around to see it. It might take a minute to focus, but it's a huge maple. And it turns all different colors. It's got red and orange and yellow, and then it gets like this auburn. You probably know that tree. The top now, it's just getting dark auburn. And it's got green on it still, so it's totally amazing. Okay, let's see. 2 of them dropped. I was waiting for 3 dropped? Yeah. Let me just see. I'm not going to turn them over, but let's see which one they want me to read. Okay. Did we get the card you wanted from us? Yes. Okay. The card on the far right? Yes. The card in the middle? No. The card on the left? No. Okay. Thank you. All right. And this is thanks to the lead team for all their help and guidance and support. So appreciative. Okay. So look at the image. What do you see in there? Listen to the voice within when it persists. Yeah. Listen to the voice within when it persists. Okay, so 39, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a 3 again. I love it. My husband's mom passed about a month ago, transitioned. And it's always been, my mom transitioned in 2013. And she just always showed up. And I didn't even do numbers before then. She just showed up constantly, 333, 333, 333. I mean, I was driving to her memorial, a year later, and it was like, there's just 333s all over the place. The mile marker that I happened to look at, it was just the exit I was taking. I mean, it was like, are you serious? Anyways, and the time, she always shows up. But yesterday we got a 333 on the clock, and I said, hey, Mom. I always say that when I see it. And my husband said, can my mom visit through 333 too? And I said, of course. So now we're saying, hi, mamas. Oh, he's so sad. That's hard. I get it. It's not good. If you have a strong relationship with your mom, it's not good. It's awful to lose your mama. Anyway, so hi, mamas. Okay, listen to the voice within when it persists. Your inner self is what connects you to the higher guardian spirits of the universe, who will use it to attract your attention when they have a message for you. A guardian spirit is speaking to the inner you now a guardian spirit, and you know the message is coming from a higher source because you are being moved by the words and the feelings they bring. So what is moving you right now? There's something's been talking to you. Me too. I mean, they're always talking to us, right? So it's like, well, which one are we going to listen to? Because we only have so much capacity, right? So the question is, what message has been coming through to you that they're trying to get you to listen to? I'm wondering. Let me know. I would love to know it. So let me read that again. A guardian spirit is speaking to the inner you now. So if you're hearing this, that is definitely for you. And you know the message is coming from a higher source because you are being moved by the words and the feelings they bring. The guardian spirit wants you to take notice. This is your time to wake up and follow the path of light. I mean, this whole talk has been about us waking, at least, me waking up to that after that gentleman posted that video. You know this is true, as this inner voice is stronger than any voice you have heard in this world. Trust it right now. Okay? All right. Who needed to hear that? Who needed to hear that? All right. I'm saving this so I can put it in my journal. And let's end with angelic vibrations. Angelic vibrations. Anybody else got a bedhead this morning? Now, I'm not posting this probably till like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock. Is it hard for you guys when I jump times? My sister keeps saying, post it at the same time. All right, I'll post it at 2 o'clock. The only reason I don't do that is because sometimes, I don't know. I like to post some things at 7, some things at 2, some things earlier. But then, you got to give the video that from the day before kind of a chance, right? To kind of, because, you only have so much capacity, and I've been long-winded lately. Okay, let me just see. There's a bunch of cards popping, but let me just see if this card that did pop is the one they want. Okay, did I get the card you wanted? Yes. Are there any other cards from this deck you want me to pull? No. Okay. All right. Well, at least they honored me with the one card. I asked for one deck and they gave me 3. So, okay. So this is the final. Oh, of course it's a 6, which you don't reduce a 6, do you? No. But what makes up a 6? 2 3s, 2 2s, 3 2s, 2 3s. Of course, there's a 3 in there. Embrace the new. Embrace the new. Take a look at that image. Okay, so change is hard for humans, and man, is there a lot of change lately, right? Embrace the new. So they're reminding us. Let's see. Okay, the message. Courage is the opponent of fear. Okay, you just can't make this stuff up, Nothing can prevent you from implementing your plans. You finally found the courage to realize your new plans. It's only natural that trepidation is doing somersaults in the background. Embrace the new in your life that gives you the opportunity to break old habits. And those habits are the ones that the machine wants us in. Entertainment until we're sedated. Right? Embrace the new in your life that gives you the opportunity to break old habits. Just don't go cold turkey. I've been trying to go cold turkey and it just messes with the brain a little too much, in my opinion. The angels support everyone who courageously enters the world. They are aware of the protection and guidance you need right now. All new beginnings are difficult, but never too difficult. Take heart and know that you can do it. That is an amazing place to end this conversation. All right, you guys, let me know what you think. Watch for the newsletter. I will send that out probably tomorrow morning. So if you want to get signed up, you actually probably won't get this, to be honest. You kind of got to get signed up if you want future things, because when you get signed up, I have like a little welcome series, and then I try to avoid sending people. Maybe I still will. I try to avoid, because if you sign up one day, you're going to get like 2 emails, right? So anyways, okay, well, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.